I don't understand.
Still no? See, but that one's different because it says end live video and it didn't say that before.
Oh, yes. More than just a fence.
Yeah, he had all the stuff laid out, but he didn't tell me. We're good? Backup computer, to the backup computer. Alright, try to make this fast so we don't cook. Let's call the order. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, Deb will not be attending tonight. She's still in the hospital. We're hoping to come home tomorrow. She's doing fine. But she is going to be absent. Bob is absent. We'll try to make it through without him. Alright, I need an appointment for someone to take the July minutes. Bobby?
Oh, absolutely, man.
I'll do
Would
it.
you do it for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd like a motion to appoint Kelsey as the taker of the minutes for the July meeting.
Motion.
Second.
So,
All in favor?
aye.
Nays? We got five.
This is all everything.
Feel all the eyes.
All right. I have the resignation of the village clerk, notarized, effective 20th of June. So I will declare a vacancy of the clerk. Now this is going to get tricky. Follow here. I also have a resignation of Deb Austin from the position of trustee of the board. Notarized July 3rd, 2023. I declare a vacancy of trustee on the board. My appointment as new clerk is going to be Deb Austin. I need board approval to do that. Is there a motion to approve Deb Austin as the new clerk?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You good?
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm not. These are your copies. I have my copies.
The new officers will each have to sign a oath, and the new clerk will need to file a bond with the county clerk.
Okay. So do I need each trustee to do this evening?
Trustees don't have to file bonds.
Oh, I meant the oath of office for board. This is just for Deb. or just for
Both, all officers have to take oaths.
Right.
Okay, all oaths have to be filed. I'm sorry.
I got
I
you.
gave you the wrong thing.
I got you now.
Brought up my own resignation form. You shouldn't do that.
So at the next meeting, we will swear Deb in as,
Well, you do it whenever you want, but they gotta have that oath on file.
okay, I'll get
And,
that.
And the clerk has to file a bond.
Correct, yes. I'm thinking. All right, since I've declared a trustee vacancy, and then I've appointed a clerk, and that passed, I'm going to appoint a new trustee. I'd like to appoint Sheila Robbins as the new trustee to fill the spot. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. So you will have to do oath of office as well. I think that's it, right, for Sheila? Since she's now a board member again, she'll have to swear in.
Yes.
Would you like to do that now? Take your place at the board. I, Sheila Rollins,
Sheila Robbins,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will discharge faithfully
and that I will discharge faithfully
the duties of the office of the village clerk,
the duties of the office of the village trustee,
office of the village trustee of the village of Hull,
trustee of the village of Hull,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Okay. So this post-it note is not for Dale. That is for you. You fill that out and I will file that. Alright, I have to have it on the minutes to approve the clerk as the second signer of the bills. Just a reminder, no two people can pay a bill or take money out of the town. It has to include, we have no checks. We have no access to any money. So it all comes through Bob. So, need a motion to approve the new clerk as the second signer of the bills.
I make a motion.
Second? All in favor? Vote to approve new clerk as co-holder of the safe deposit box keys. The bank needs this in the minutes to approve a new safe deposit box key holder. Is there a motion to approve the new clerk as co-holder of safe deposit box keys?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Alright, we'll give Kelsey a second to catch up. Okay. June minutes. We have these fancy new minutes. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes? Were there any objections or questions? If no questions, I need a motion to approve the June minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Nays? Cool. Approval of the bills. Mr. Gray's not here. We got 3 tax bills here. From my understanding, we were exempt from paying taxes on those properties. And I myself filled out the tax exempt paperwork. So my suggestion is we go ahead and approve these to pay because Bob didn't question that these are something we're not supposed to be paying. And then I will contact the county. I'll still be acting as clerk until Deb gets sworn in. Do we have to do that swearing in at a meeting, I would assume?
I don't know that you have to swear anybody in to do anything. They gotta sign that oath,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. So those are for 3 properties on our fixer plat. So we soon won't have those anymore. I would suggest we pay them and then it's better than to be late.
368, 477, 24, 179, 78.
But I'll be calling the county clerk this week and ask about that. I don't see anything out of the ordinary on these bills.
What's the 2,000 for loads?
Flagpoles for Memorial Day services.
And then some of that was community garden stuff too.
Yeah. So the way this works out is that the town owns those flagpoles. And then Kelsey spent some money on the community garden for some dirt and flowers, etc. We took all the mulch from the WC Blue Ox stump grinding, $475. That's what that was for. The tree company that did all the work in the summer wouldn't touch that stump. They didn't want no part of it. Got this guy to do it for $475. And then we used all the chips over here. The community garden looks really, really cool. I don't see anything else out of here. Does anybody see anything out of the ordinary?
That muggle bug, who's gonna spray it?
Joyce said she still is. I don't know how much time she's gonna have. And Sam is also licensed now to spray.
Perfect.
So, right, we haven't had to spray yet, but it rained, so we'll probably start seeing mosquitoes this week, I would think. I don't know what their life cycle, spawn cycle is. But we have 2 options available. Roger mentioned his interest in maybe getting his license. So we're not on high ground here. We do have a plan. So we have multiple.
Well, would it be bad for multiple people? Like,
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Roger
idea
and Sam
anyway.
both have it, and then if Joyce
Yep.
wants
Yeah.
to too, I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
I think we're good.
Awesome.
It says mug a butt, but that's not correct.
Does Roger know who to contact? Have you?
We're gonna work on that.
Okay.
It's been a bit of a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I think it's a slow process.
It
It can be.
Well, you can do it all on computers, the way I
Yeah.
understand.
That's good.
yeah,
I think
it's
the,
not a thing you can do in a day.
I think the
Um,
time frame is getting all the information back to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
it
it
took
takes.
Joyce a long time them to get it.
They don't get in a hurry.
But Sam recently went through the course, so hopefully we can help. He can at least tell me who to contact, and
So as far as that goes, can we go ahead and get to spraying possibly, putting some stuff out?
well, the mosquitoes have to be in the air when you spray them,
Yeah.
otherwise it doesn't do any good. But we're ready to spray. The machine's inspected, it's certified. We have the spray. We're ready to go. All we gotta do is, first time I see a mosquito on my arm, I'm gonna contact Joyce and Sam, like who wants it. So we are
I didn't know if we needed that in the minutes,
that.
you know.
I can wait anytime.
I didn't know if we had to vote on that or anything.
I don't know.
Cause I was gonna fill that in on one of my comments.
Yeah, now that she's still licensed, so she can still do it anytime, the pay would be the thing. since she's
Well,
not
we had that
employed.
in the minutes last time.
Yeah, we did. I think we're covered. I feel comfortable, but I can look into that a little farther.
I guess if people don't want to spray it, then we can complain about it.
Yeah. Oh, we'll hear about it. Is there any? I need a motion to accept the bills.
Make a motion.
I second.
Second. All in favor? All right. Financial report. I don't really know what to report here. I don't think we really. There's not a lot of. I see a lot of positive numbers.
That's a good thing.
There shouldn't be anything out of the ordinary here. If there is, we can always catch up on it next month. I don't see any big losses, so. Whenever you're ready, I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve the financials.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
I,
All right, can I have a copy of the appropriation draft? There's two out there.
One on here and one.
One's stapled, one's not. Okay, this is ordinance 2023-7-3 for the annual appropriations for fiscal 23-24. I put in here differences from last year. We had appropriated Claire for $25 an hour. We only paying $20. I would like to raise Claire's pay to $25 an hour to match the appropriations that we've already appropriated for the last
absolutely.
2 years.
So he
Reminder,
hasn't been
we
getting that?
apparently we only voted $20 last time.
Okay.
I really thought it was 25 because I appropriated it, but the minutes state that it was 20. We also don't provide any benefits as a reminder. $25 is what I'm asking, or more. If I ask for more, I'm going to have to redo the appropriations.
Be nice if you got paid holidays.
You do report your holidays, right? On a holiday, you go ahead and fill out.
No. I never got paid once, I don't bother writing it down. Writing it down.
Does the board agree that we should start paying Claire? I make a motion to pay Claire holiday pay,
I'll second.
so you get 40 hours no matter what.
I thought you already got it.
I did too. Apologize, Claire. I didn't know. I'd fix that a long time ago.
Okay, so first was Bobby. Is there a
Oh, sorry.
second?
Second.
Oh, all in favor
Aye.
Aye.
for holiday pay. Okay. Need a motion to raise Claire's pay to $25 an hour.
I'll make it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That probably really didn't need done. That was more of an appropriations thing, but I wanted it in the minutes. I also added, of course, the capital purchase of excavator. I also added on top of that the option to hire a part-time employee. If we don't use it, who cares? But I want in here that will include ditch work, whatever, a part-time employee, up to 30,000. So I just put the amount in there. We can decide on the hour amount. I wanted to look into hiring somebody, but there's no reason doing it if it's not in the appropriations. So now if I get that approved, we can start taking applications. I also added put it? Oh, for drainage, $15,000. That is to cover the rental of the excavator from ourselves out of the motor fuel. So it really doesn't, it has to be in here. So I put 15,000 there. And I believe, except for general electric bill raises, increases, that's really all there was, the changes. So you'll see the excavator, Claire's raise, and money for a part-time employee.
What
The
about,
drainage, would that include tubes that might need replaced?
That's where that would come from. But that can also come from motor fuel tax fund. And remember, we have 30 grand sitting there. It has to be
Yeah.
used this fiscal.
Yeah.
If it's not used by June of 24, we lose it. So if it's looking in February that we haven't used our labor, we go buy a bunch of tubes. We know we're going to use tubes.
what about code enforcement?
Give me a minute. Casual labor. So you can don't read into that too much.
I'll just be casual.
Yeah, don't read into that too much. We also have miscellaneous for salaries and compensation of officers. We would probably never touch that, but let's say we got a bunch of overtime or something. That's where that comes from. So this casual labor department, you'd be paid out of that. Salaries and compensation of officers. Anybody see any problems? Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance 2023-7-3?
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Visitors' comments. Sam?
I just come to tell you, let you know that I did have my spray license. I also have my right-of-way spray license for weeds and
Thank you, sir.
whatever else.
Good for it, man.
For the mosquitoes, I will say that, I mean, you'll need to spray, but there's a lot more to mosquito control than just spraying. Because you can use, the only time the spray works is, like you said, when they're flying, but you can use larvicides in standing water in different places that will also help kill them before they even hatch out.
So we know a guy.
Do you have the larvicide already?
I do, yeah.
We're ready to go.
I would say get after it.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do this week. I'm assuming they're gonna start.
It's about 7 days to hatch out.
So
Something that, I said something right earlier, but something that can be done is, I mean, just like putting stuff on the town's Facebook page to try to get people to police their yards and, you know, make sure you dump buckets and make sure any standing water, I can't give you the figures right now, but a bottle cap that holds rainwater will hatch out hundreds of mosquitoes a week. I mean, something as a dog food bowl full of water, if you don't have a dog anymore, or something that, flower pots, of course, you know, anything like that. If it holds water, kiddie pools, if they're not used, I mean, anything, if it holds water, it's gonna produce mosquitoes. And so, I mean, if you can get the people in town to try to, you know, drain the stuff in their backyards. Now, because of where we live, there's always gonna be mosquitoes.
Yep.
But every little bit helps. And so, and then, like I said, the larvicide helps. And then we still have to spray. but you should have someone, whether it's Joyce or me or whoever, I mean, someone in charge of it, and then if that person can't do it, have them contact the other ones, hey, can you do it, or I can't do it this week, can you do it, but
So there's such a thing as committees. Barry has a, well, not Barry, but some people have street sign committees, some people have ditch committees, some have drainage committees.
Should we have a speeder committee?
We can. You want one?
I think we need one. Seriously, I do.
We can.
We need someone in charge of the mosquitoes.
So,
Wrangle them in.
do we want to consider someone our primary
Yeah.
mosquito sprayer?
I'd appoint Sam for that position.
The board makes the motion. I cannot. I can ask for a
I
motion.
made a motion.
I make a motion, Sam Reed is the mosquito man.
I'll second.
the bug man.
The bug is
Well, if you look at the bills, you're the butt man. But
And maybe we should add in there slash spray as well.
let me spell out what that looks like, and to have something official in the next meeting. So I found before that doing this and in my day job, a list of duties. If you're appointing someone to something, needs to be on paper.
Yeah.
I've learned that the hard way. So let me get that put together for the next meeting. We will table that if we can. Well, we don't need to table it, but contingent on job duties.
Okay, who was first and second?
I made the
However,
motion.
we're gonna probably need to start spraying.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we can't spray until we figure out the committee. I'm okay with you spraying tonight. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
Well,
I mean, that's a stretch, and it's for the doing.
me and, for now, for the next week or two, I mean, me
I think
and you
that'll
can
be
get together. I'm not
the
in
duties.
town every night.
The
And so-
job duties will.
I don't know, I mean, just because there's mosquitoes at my house doesn't mean or vice versa. They may not be bothering me at my house, but if they're bothering people in town, we need to spray.
We have stated before that the pay was $25 an hour to spray.
Okay,
I don't know what that job is worth.
that's fine.
You can go ahead and spray, but before we pay you, you'll have to do a W9.
Oh, that's,
W9? I don't remember. W9, I think.
I'll need to be
And
an employee.
right, you'll have to sign that. I think it's a W9.
That way,
If that or
I'm covered on your insurance and the
Right.
spraying is covered on your insurance and, cause I'm using your
Um,
sprayer and,
so I have those. Can we do that tomorrow
well, whenever, I mean,
or
we'll get that worked out.
Wednesday? Tomorrow or Wednesday, we'll go
That's
ahead and
fine.
do
We'll
that.
get that worked out.
All you gotta do is sign that paper. So anyway, anything else, Sam?
No, other than at some point, I've mentioned this before on a different note, but, looking at replacing street signs, just from
yeah.
a emergency,
I've got it on my 2023 to do. That's just
and
I've got a
Gotta
call.
have something more than just street signs, because when Sharon's address is messed up for
So again, that is not holes.
195, I know, but
Do you know who to
I mean, I have-
contact?
somebody.
I get complaints
I
once a
mean,
month, and we don't.
it's correct in, as far as I know, it's correct at dispatch in Pittsfield. It's just, it's farther, it's Google and I can tell you firsthand, I can't tell you, I don't even remember the person or what call it was. But, I mean, the call was almost to New Canton, and our mapping sent us up north of Baker's Chapel. On occasion, even for us, because of Google, because of
So we made
various different.
We made a 911 system, and we used something
No,
to
the county-
guide us.
the
No,
county
not,
did.
not the town, but we used something to guide us that isn't even up to date.
There's
What a waste of our money.
one in 1,000 or one. I mean, it's
That's
the
all it
mistakes are
is.
very few and
It
far
just takes
between.
one.
I know,
And all you
and
gotta
we,
do is look at it,
and
and
we-
we, right. It just matches.
So when you guys get a call,
then we, oh, go ahead.
when you guys get a call, what map do you all look at through 911?
So-
What does 911 have?
They have their own mapping system. They have their own mapping system that they're looking at. We have apps on our phone, which is a company called I Am Responding, and so it handles our paging, and then it also gives us mapping. Will show us the location. It gives us information on the call. It gives us the address, and sometimes, and in this case, we were able to determine it wasn't right, because we know in this case, Highway 96 with a Kinderhook address is Kinderhook South. Highway 96 with a Hull address is from Leon's North. Well, the map said it was up by Acres Chapel, but it was Highway 96 with a Kinderhook address. So that told us, hey, this isn't right. Go with what you know, and so we figured it out. But then we turn in to dispatch, hey, this is wrong. Then they forward to, and I don't know, Google and several of the others, because there's thousands of different companies and they're all using the same mapping. And so then we try to catch mistakes and we try to get them corrected. But there are, and I'm going to use Google for example, there are mistakes.
Well, I know Sharon's called me 7 times in
Yeah.
the last week, and like Google has them at 201, but they're 205. So
205 what?
Cherry,
And they shouldn't be. They should have an Elm Street address.
no, they should. Their front door faces Cherry.
It does?
They're right next to us.
Lumbergs?
Oh,
No, Ertz's.
oh, I thought you meant Sharon Lindbergh.
No, Ertz's.
Oh, okay,
See, there's only 5 houses on Cherry.
yeah.
They're 205. We're 195 West. Pat up the street is 301, and then where Gina Schultz used to live is 195 East.
Right.
And that's where,
So same on the highway.
Yeah.
295 east and the big white house is 295.
so I told Sharon I would
Can you Google your house?
I've never tried.
try to find out who to contact, because their big thing is Sharon's not in the best of health, and if they call 911, you guys know where she is.
Right.
But
So,
there may be this, situation that someone doesn't. So who
There has to be
at
a committee
911?
so
at the county, I would think.
the
Okay.
county
I mean, if you-
assessor's office handles everything to do with property.
Okay.
Well,
All the way from
county
the property
assessor-
number to the address. Like this one house we have in Fixer Flat right now doesn't have a physical address as far as GIS says. But they've been given a physical address from somewhere. We don't know where it come from. I go by the property number because I don't know if it's even
And
accurate.
you can contact Stephanie Reinhardt at Pike County Sheriff's Office
Okay.
and talk to her. She's been made aware of this exact, your address and Gina's, and we've,
Yeah, I know it's ongoing.
And it seems like it's just us, but Sharon.
It's not just you. I hear about it all the time.
So
it's,
it needs to be corrected.
but if it's and it could be correct in the computer, in the map at Pittsfield.
Right.
At the dispatch office, it could be correct. Google could have it wrong, and that's what UPS and FedEx and I mean they all run off of that Google map.
So then Google would need to correct their end of it.
And
I've tried to correct
And we
it
have-
myself, and I don't.
we've had, I mean, like Stephanie, who is in charge of, she's the 911 administrator for the county, and we have the fire department is a part of a very large statewide mutual aid organization called NABUS, and our president and also the guy who oversees the paging system for the county has fought with Google over wrong addresses and where it's sending us, and when it's taken sometimes 2, 3, or 5 years to get them to fix it. When you're dealing with, I mean, you just can't call someone, you can't Google's phone number
I would get
and
everybody you
call them on the
know.
phone and say, hey, this isn't, I mean, you literally can't talk to anybody there.
I'd get everybody you know to put in an address change on your house. Just
The
flood them
main
with
thing is
50, 60, 70 address changes. Maybe it'll flag something.
the main thing
I don't
is
know.
to have it
Like-
correct with 911.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the main
That's
thing.
the main reason
We'll
for it.
call in something some night, we'll see if you show up.
Yeah.
Which house you
You're
get
going
to?
out and so
Just dial 911, send us checking to see if you're there.
somebody will call.
Our neighbors have tried that.
If you call them, if you don't answer, they'll call you back.
I know.
I butt dialed them one time. And then they called me back and I didn't answer. And then they called me like 4 or 5 times and they didn't answer. And then in which case, then they send the police to look for you.
Yeah.
All right, so
It's for fun.
No,
street signs where we started. I haven't even had a chance to call anybody about street signs. To be honest,
and that
I know it was brought up almost a year ago.
the one company that I told you about. I
And
mean,
that was
they-
out like a Louisiana state, wasn't it?
It's in the state of Louisiana, but when we bought from them, they were by far one of the cheapest. And for what it's worth, they still have like your sign information. You don't have an account to fix because they redid their computers. If you get a W-9 from Bob, send it to them, they'll redo your account. And then they already have the information stored. So the font's the same, the signs are the same, everything's the same size, and
So Deb's gonna start helping me with this list that I've made, so I can put that on towards the top of her list. The tennis court fence. The first guy was like $3,500, but wanted paid up front. I said that's not how it works. Finally, I told Deb to get a hold of somebody, and I said the first person that responded is hired. Well, the first person that responded wants $9,500.
Is that consolidated?
I'd have to get back to you who it was. I don't even remember, but I told him no.
Wasn't that
And he
high?
couldn't get to it till the fall. So, and no one else
Just to
responded.
fix that spot, not to redo all of it, just to fix.
No, just to fix
Is it just from corner to corner?
Not even that.
It's not even that. He's gonna patch it in.
I didn't figure I needed the board approval to.
No.
So did you find anybody else?
No, no one's answered. So,
Have we priced the fence ourselves?
no.
Just see what it is.
So Myron mentioned he could do it, and that was a couple weeks ago.
See what he says, I mean.
Yeah, and it's not your normal link fence. It's like inch and a 3/4. There's no reason why we couldn't put it up in an hour. That's what he said. Hour. He said he might have to bring another guy in to help.
Perfect.
I told him to give me a quote, but I don't have that quote right now, so I can't really make any motion on it. But anyway, that's just one example. Well, you see my list. We don't need to go through the list. Next visitor. Mr. White's here. We've been talking for a couple months. The township called me this week complaining about how tall the burn pile was. I said we it's been so windy, we can't burn the burn pile, it's just not
Too
pop.
dry.
Yeah, too dry for one. So we've all been trying to find a different alternative for the burn pile for what, 2 years now or more. Dick had me step inside his house and it smells like burnt wet grass in his house. It's terrible. So we're bringing down a water tower, right? That property used to be Mr. White's great grandfather's front yard. Now he owns that house. He had talked about the possibility of buying it back. I said, what about a trade? I said, you own the west of the lagoon. He actually owns almost everything south of town and southwest. So he's got 2.63 acres there, right along the tracks. I should have brought that up for you.
Well, that map.
It's west of the lagoon, south of the tracks.
You want my paper map?
Please. Oh yeah, that's
That
great.
cash was looking at it, and
That's
that
great.
doesn't.
Yeah, that part right there.
I got the trees on the west side of it.
No.
No.
Well, yes.
Yeah, on the
Yes.
west end.
Yeah, it's according to the feds, a wetland.
So this is kind of hard to see. There's a line right here. Can I draw on this?
Yeah, just don't make it profane.
Okay. I'll do that after the board reviews it. Alright, so the crossing's right here.
Gotcha.
This is approximately what I say, 154 feet wide.
Yeah.
At the middle, it's like a wedge, but it's 2.63 acres right there. It's already got crossing. First time, right?
Do we need a hydrant?
Well,
Or if we put it there, maybe we won't need one. I don't think it would be.
I think that's a future issue. The big part is getting the property because we haven't been able to get anybody to give us any property anyway. So, Exhibit 1. I'll set this here so I don't lose it. 2.63 acres for a trade of 1.63 acres.
And buildings.
That's the kicker. All right. So the water tower has to come down. That's already in the budget.
Yep.
Mr. White would like the building to come down as well before it's demoed or before it's handed over, right? So let's say that demolition cost us, it's brick, so people could use it for fill. It wouldn't have to go to landfill. But anyway, let's say $20,000. It seems to be the going rate. So we'd still be getting 2.63 acres for the equivalent of $20,000, which is still under price of acreage. At, I'm gonna say 14 to 17,000 an acre. So we're paying for it in a way.
But we would take it down anyways, if we aren't using it and we kept the property.
It's a pretty good building. We would probably keep it
Okay,
for storage. So we don't have to get rid of it.
okay.
But we got a chance to get 2.63 acres when no one else will sell us any land. That thing's a problem. It needs to either be moved or shut down. I mean, the front landing just smells strong.
All the time, consistently.
Well, I only went in the one time, but it was bad.
When it was burning,
Unless he's burning wet grass in his front quarter, it's coming from that burn pile right across the road. So, this is all nothing set in stone. It's just to consider it. Now, Mr. White has possibly agreed to let us start using it at the end of this harvest. It's not set in stone. But we'd want board agreement. We'd want the board to put in the minutes that this trade is contingent on the demolition of the water tower and the building. So he wants he would want some sort of word. It doesn't mean we have to write it in stone yet, but his attorney is going to draw up some sort of agreement. And we got time. There's crops in there right now, so we can't do anything anyway. But if the board would like to consider this arrangement, he would like to go ahead and start drawing something up. So
That's the only thing we have found.
that's it.
So,
I mean,
Well, if you look
Dick's
at
not
that-
going to sell us any land. He's got a really good spot for a burn pile, but he said he's not going to sell. Kennedy's aren't going to come off anything. Quite honestly, Mr. White's our only option. And it's a good option.
Can I add something?
Yes, sir.
The only other part of demolition would be, and I didn't know anything about, I didn't have anything, ideas about a price tag, but I'd like for that little knoll that the new filtration plant sits up on.
So it kind of, yeah,
Level
it
out.
sits in, so there's a full basement there.
So it's, right, so it's
You
not
would
as
just-
much soil as it appears to be.
No, it's not as much.
Right.
So you can get rid of dirt easy enough. We could take all that dirt and go put it in the park.
Yep.
There's a tank, underground tank behind it too.
So that would be,
That's enough, Sam.
your attorney you would put the wording in on how you want the property left. You know,
How big is the tank?
Sam will have to look into that.
About the size of this table, that's about it.
Yeah, so alright, so I don't even know that we need to make a motion to do anything because it's all temporary, but he is, if we could sign an agreement, we'll review the agreement at a later time, but he's willing to let us start using it in the fall.
Should
And we
get
need it.
some sort of estimate on what it's gonna cost to tear it down? Or are we gonna?
Yeah, I
use
probably will,
the-
and I'm also gonna look into see if that would also, if we tag that into the project, we would get 75% written off, and the remaining cost is 0.9% interest. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some work. So it may not cost us $20,000. It could cost us
What do we store in there?
nothing. Concrete forms.
Don't we have room to put them somewhere else?
Probably. We need to clean some shops.
Well, that needs to get done then.
But we're looking at 2 years before that building comes down. I mean, this isn't. We're in the waiting stage right now. I actually just got 2 bills from Miko, so they are still moving forward.
But if we have a contingency plan and we have an agreement written up, then he's allowing us this fall to go ahead and use the property.
It would all be on paper.
So-
Where's his crops gonna be, according to that map, that 2 acres? What's gonna happen when the wind's blowing that direction?
We don't burn all the crops in.
Okay, so how big is this pile gonna get, and how long is it gonna take for it to be just so overgrown that we can't burn it all in summertime, you know, I mean, it's,
Right. So crops are in the ground for at most how many months? Our field expert can answer that.
Well, they're gonna be green till, September,
In to out.
so in to out, April to, I feel probably October.
Yeah. So quite a time. But
that pile gets pretty big over there.
it will get big.
Yep,
If
if we don't burn for that long.
But you should be able to burn up until about the end of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna want to burn when it's ground, but with brown.
And we can actually let it burn all night, can't we? Instead of just letting
Well,
it burn for 4 hours,
we'll-
put water on it,
We'll talk about that in the future.
and it goes nowhere. I mean, as far as the pile.
Yeah. This discussion is whether or not we have. It would be an agreement. So
What's that?
what it would just be an agreement.
I'm agreeing.
Whatever your attorney writes up, we would review it. So that's step one. So we don't need to vote on anything. There's nothing to do.
Yep.
That's why Mr. White's here.
My suggestion would be go ahead and speak to your attorney
He
and
is.
get things written up
Yeah.
and let us review it.
He's gonna have, we talked about that, he's gonna, I mean, we meet once a month, so if you wanna try to have it done by the next meeting, if not, we've got months to play. And it's not like somebody's shutting us down over here, but I'd like to do it as soon as possible.
I hate that smell in my house, I know that.
It's pretty,
So,
it's pretty bad. So anyway,
That's terrible.
alright, that's why Mr. White's here. Mr. White, was there anything else?
Well, no, now that we've kind of tended to, I mean, I'll just tell you all that the tank will be a part of the agreement.
Yep.
So it'll be the tank, the filtration.
That might be an extra acre, I'm kidding.
And they'll know.
Sam City.
Sam's going to dig it up.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the lawyer would have said, we got to have some kind of survey.
And he'll know.
What's there, and this would have come up, so it's not like he's a true
The
whistleblower.
tank would be easy.
To take the pressure off of him.
We're just giving him a hard time.
The tank's concrete, and then you got all the dirt around the building to fill the hole in.
Yeah,
Sam?
see? And we got an excavator.
Yeah, see, and you got an excavator around to fill the hole.
Perfect.
What's that?
Will that ground have to be
Probably very
fenced out
soon.
there?
Doesn't have to be.
Not typically.
That one's not fenced.
What's gonna keep people from driving to his field?
We could look at that.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking.
But
I think
with
it's a very
this-
good idea.
The only way they would drive across this field, I mean, they could drive across this field right now. There's no gate.
Yeah, but they have no reason to be there. With the dirt burn pile there, they've got a reason to be there.
But
Well, but maybe like those concrete blocks that.
We'll figure
we
that
had,
out.
we
Yeah.
could-
that's all
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
the operation of this thing is, let's look at the contract. The proposal,
Yeah,
alright?
because we already know what the big blocks are gonna cost.
Yeah, and it
And-
You put everything in there that you want, and then we'll look at it. Alright, Claire.
I'll just make the blanket statement, I want this to happen, so I'm not gonna play
So
hardball.
we could kind of Jew down a little bit if we want to.
Well, I mean, don't get carried away. Do you know my grandfather?
Alright, let's get this finished. Claire?
Last week, I had a leak up here in the schoolhouse, near pit. So, me and Sam and Tracy and Roger, we tried to, Sam got on the shut off. It was in the pit shooting up toward the lid, and that's where it was. And, there's gases in there that split. So that's where the water was coming from, and one of the bolts was almost rusted in two. So, Brian was going to St. Louis that day for medical reading that day, but for the next morning he come over and see what he needed. He went backing up two 3/4 bolts, stainless steel bolts, and the washer. It slid down in between the two sleeves and tightened them up, and that solved that problem.
Cool.
So,
Thanks for the help, Roger and Sam.
Now, Sam was the one that told me about it.
Which one got wet?
Nobody got wet that day.
Oh, wasn't that?
The next morning, they wanted to turn it on and see, and I got the shower. So,
No.
I read all water meters. That pit was full of water.
Did you pump it out?
In order to read it, let me finish, Sheila. I had to pump it out, and I had trouble getting the motor started. I got her started. I got on a 10-foot hose, and I put another 10-foot pipe on the end of it, and got it out further. And the next morning, there was more water in it, so I pumped it out to Brian to fix his, it is fixed. So they haven't come back down and water from the highway yet, so it's metered. So then that took me longer to read the water meters and receipt, shut off notices. I just haven't got off today, because he hadn't been over there for a couple of months. And then tell me he got a girlfriend in Hannibal, he hadn't said anything about it. I got that when we talked to his uncle. He found a job over at Hannibal, he's not working for the water district anymore, so. And then, the mowing, that took me, almost a couple of weeks to get some gas for the truck and stuff. I called over and, all kinds of numbers, push one, you get fire, get gas, so I left a message. Well, that message didn't get passed on to the trucker, it had one from over here, and they didn't leave no gas. So I called over and I got the secretary. And then the next day or two I had gas. So, sometimes thought who you talk to, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I mowed this, the big part Friday afternoon, and I mowed this over here, and there was 3 of those cats. They were scattered all over they weren't down in the, I dug around the pipe and stuck them down in there, and one of them, I dropped a screwdriver down in it, so. I didn't know how to get that out of there. So, there's a couple more.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Those screwdrivers, no.
No, I tried to go pound all those in, but the ground was
Hard, yeah.
solid.
Yeah, so
So.
I've got the others covered up. So,
Okay. Yeah, we capped all the flagpole poles this year because it takes a long time to find all the
Yeah.
poles. So we capped everyone.
Yeah, so I did that for the fogger and lawnmowers. That's about all I did.
All right.
Good job, Clay.
Thank you, Claire. Roger.
What you got? Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Robert and Carrie's ditch,
Uh-huh.
that tube, I don't know, is that in progress?
Wait on the excavator.
Perfect.
It should be here soon. I don't know if I answered you. Somebody asked me how soon.
Well,
When they call. Soon. They're gonna deliver it.
the blocks, for our burn pit, $20 a block. I don't know if we,
I'd say still get them because we'll probably use them. We can use them to keep them out of his field.
can't remember if we talked about that or not.
We did. I talked to Bridget.
Maybe go to, it was pretty tall. Keep a short fire and thing.
No.
If we kept up with it.
So let's, yeah, waiting on equipment. We have the tubes.
Yep.
You wanna take those two back?
No,
When
we're
two
gonna
high.
use them.
Or 2 of them?
That's the going rate. I called around. That's what a metal tube costs. I've still not wrapped my head around it, but
Metal tubes are outrageous right now.
yeah, it's.
Yeah, it's-
I would not take them back. We've already paid for them. We already approved it in the bills.
But
We're gonna use them for something.
I'm gonna need that trailer next month, so I have to unload them somewhere. All underneath the water plant there.
That's all I had.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be fine. Right.
So, we took care of some cat issues that we brought up last
Yeah,
time.
I've been
A little
on
bit of
the-
that taken care of, which
I've-
is good.
I've been working with Lotus
Yep, that's
a week
good.
and a half now.
Um,
She's hauled out a pile of cats, but they've been dying in
Jane's yard.
yeah, in their garage. Like she sent me pictures of, or Lewis sent me pictures of dead cats, cats that probably only wouldn't make it through the night. Tote full of dead cats, and then over here, it's been a complaint for a long time. So Pike County has been trying very, very hard. If you look on their Facebook page, they have a ton of cats. They've actually released the fees for cats. You can get cats for free right now.
You know, birds
And they're all
still
pigs.
at the time.
Hopefully before they send them back
Kind of
out.
nine
I think
tonight.
that they are.
Yeah.
Now there's,
Yes.
yeah, she spent a lot of time down here.
Yeah.
There's cans
Yeah.
and stuff back there.
The only thing I'll bring up, we talk about mosquitoes and how people's yards can make mosquito habitat, but we have this very tall grass down here on East Street, down toward the end, that hasn't been mowed, it's that tall. That needs to be mowed and weeded,
So that property is complicated.
But we mowed it
But-
last year.
I mowed it personally, not the town. I kind of decided I'm not gonna mow anymore. Diesel got expensive. I've been maintaining that property for the previous 4 years.
So who owns it?
The county trust.
So we can bill them for the time limit.
No, a county trust can't be held responsible for
For
any type
anything.
of ordinance violation. Yes, we can just go over and mow it with
well,
the town
I
mower.
mean, we need to do something.
Here's the problem.
It's just,
Ronnie Perrine was gonna go over and mow it, but there's a lot of obstacles and he wasn't gonna get his mower
terrible.
torn up.
And I don't want
So my suggestion would be, is what's in there movable? Put it at the back of the property. If nobody wants to,
So I took all the concrete out from the trailer. I took all the anchors out. I cut them all out. Took all the wires out. And then I tried to get cleanup day with everybody together, and nobody showed up. This was right when we got on the board. I understand people were busy, but I don't know if anybody remembers. I tried to get a group together, and I was down there standing by myself. So
I mean, what's down there?
right now, not much.
then we probably just need to weed it down so we can find what's in it, figure it out.
We need a dumpster. We get a dumpster, we can load up all that stuff there. I've already cleaned up the property. I actually paid for the tires to get disposed of out of my pocket. I took probably 30 tires, and I paid for all those myself. And then it just got honestly, I got frustrated when I was down there standing by myself. I tore both of those buildings down by myself. And then I just got fed up with it. So if the town was to get a dumpster or something, we happen to have this excavator coming, we pick it up. It happens to have a front blade on it. We could grade it. It's in that weird county trust thing, like the recycling building. I went to county board meetings. Me and Kennedy both went together and said, "Hey, this is outside of city limits. It's a danger. We need it cleaned up." And
Are these properties that didn't sell at tax sale?
Mhm.
Cause there used to be a tax sale
Mhm.
tag on it. Okay.
that's why they go into county trust. That's how
Is there any way to spray it?
we could, but then you'd have a big dead piece of dirt.
It's better than mosquito infested.
We can got an excavator coming in the next month or so. We can get in there, clean it up. It's one of my reasons we can use this thing for all kinds of stuff. There's not much left there, and then we can mow it. We're not gonna get anything back.
It'll look good.
Well, it's
And it won't
it's
look
just,
like crap.
you know, the people live right beside it. I mean, there are cars that are parked within that many feet of this grass that's this tall, you know, I mean, it's a town eyesore, you know, it kinda falls back on us a little bit to,
So
I mean, it wouldn't take very long, it's not very big,
No.
it's just,
it didn't take me very long either, but I just wasn't. So we get the excavator here. I will get it all cleaned up, and we can run a mower over it. I've already, I'll contact the county assessor and see if we've got any headway. I think it's only for sale for a couple $100, but nobody wants it. They don't want to be next to that FEMA trailer.
that was too little.
And
Very much.
they claim that that's a fine piece of real estate, and there's nothing wrong with that trailer. And you want to talk about blew up? They think that is just fine. They stay there in the summers, they say.
Is there anybody there now?
No, they live on the East Coast.
They did come clean it up at some point. There was people over there. They weeded around it and they picked up trash, but
It's an empty, crappy looking FEMA
yeah,
trailer.
no.
So, it's actually on my list. So with everything that happened, all the stuff we voted for fixer plat like really got slowed down. About had to start over. So we're working on 120 McKinley. So if you'll remember, in March of 22, we were told that that was going to be fixed in 90 days. August came around and we were told that the soffits were going to be fixed. And here we are in July of 23. We were told today that the roof's going to get fixed this summer because they got their notice for the fixer plat. And I told the attorney we're not backing off of it.
Well, and they,
So,
We don't need to get into a big old. I told them if they have an issue with that, they need to come to the meeting. I will no longer communicate through the attorney, through email. That is, they need to be here talking to you guys, 'cause I don't make any decisions. They need to be talking to you, not me.
I got a text message from them today.
No, don't talk to her. She can come to this meeting and present to the board.
I didn't respond.
She's been well warned a couple times. Come to the board meeting with your issues. So, that FEMA trailer is number 3 on the list after we get these other 2 out of the way. On my list. Okay, Quentin. Good night.
Just the tube, like a tube crossing there behind Dick Guthrie's.
Yeah, I think we told them that it'd be fine.
Yeah, I just, talked to the farmer, a couple weeks ago, I think. So I think we're gonna try and put something in. I just told him it needs to be bigger than what's there,
Yeah.
or at least the same size.
Speaking of over there, did anybody notice that Mike Harris cleaned up that entire 920 property by himself?
Yep, he did it all.
He got rid of the metal, frame, everything. So the concrete is still there. He's an excavator. He cleaned all that brush on this side out. We'll go through with the flail mower and clear the rest of it out. But he did a whole lot of work.
Looks good.
At 9:20.
That's the one that we kind of decided that we'd do ourselves.
Oh, okay.
And then Bobby did most of the work, and then we decided, well, it's just front end loader is not what you use to. So he did finish all that. He got rid of everything, but the concrete's all still there, the blocks in the ground, so that'll need finished off, and then we'll put that up for sale. Kelsey.
I contacted Sign Pro about signs
Oh
for
yeah.
the park over here. It was like a week and a half ago, so hopefully by the next meeting. And then I went ahead and had him price signs for the park over here, and then just 2 that match for the park downtown, and then the garden. I have an arbor. It's put together. It just needs put up there. As stuff starts blooming and growing and stuff, it'll look better. We probably do need more mulch in there. The park, the grant has not been released. I talked to Kevin Amico this week, and he said that it would be early August. We have to have another meeting, kind of decide what we're gonna do. They do release a list, which is how, I don't know, Milton got $600,000 for their park. Completely free because they were on the disadvantaged communities list or something. It changes every year. He wasn't super hopeful that we would be on it, but we're kind of waiting to see, because if not, it's a 50% match, and we kind of have to see what we want to do and what we would spend and how much, everybody would be comfortable with. So we're just kind of in flux there, but.
And that is not the only avenue either. Like the Masons have agreed to do a
Yeah, and there's
fundraiser match.
other-
There's Blessings
other
Hospital. It's just a long process.
I think the Tracy Family Foundation also has stuff. There's several grants. It's just, you have to have a plan, like Nico's plan, before you can apply for like these Ameren and NICOR and all these other grants.
I
So
tried to get a grant for demolitions, but it had to be filed by X amount of date,
No,
and we don't have any on queue.
I'm not taking
And I said, well, can I put in for a grant for the last one? She said, no, you can't do that either. I was like, well, so I can't go forward and I can't go backward. It's like, I was going,
Yeah.
it would just have to fall at the right time that we have all these on queue and just sitting there waiting for money. We can't really do that either, so.
$600,000 for a parks budget. We do a whole bunch of stuff.
What else you
Bill has
got?
spent every, they had
Before she
down to
takes back
one,
in.
down to one penny.
People were going nuts about pickleball courts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've gotten plenty of messages about a pickleball court.
And we need to put the horseshoe pegs back in.
Yeah.
I think there's one left.
And it's been,
Yeah.
There is some, I think that is, and I know it's a public park, there's been a lot of extra parking for
Yes.
the houses
I've
around,
noticed that.
like every day.
so they're
I walked
across
at
the
like
street.
6:30
They've
one
been,
morning, and they were all out in
Yeah,
chairs
so they're-
and in vehicles.
if you go across around back, you see they're building a new building back there. And
Okay.
they've been digging foundations and footings, and
So it's part of that, I assume.
I would expect that
Okay,
to stop soon.
okay.
I do have a question. The community building up there.
Yep.
Is it,
To the big park,
is it like apartments now?
community building.
The old elementary
school?
school?
Yeah.
Not
How
that I
many
know of.
people's living there?
Several is what I was told yesterday.
Yeah,
So
there's
should
people.
they all pay a separate water bill?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
this can of worms. Let me look at Sam over there smiling. You want to talk about a fight that happened 10 years? Yeah, that
Probably.
I'm not even willing to bring that up at this meeting. I'll have to make a report on what happened and how it happens and how it works. It's complicated, like very,
didn't know
very,
how that-
very between
There
the
it goes.
but it's a long between up here and then the hotel when they had apartments. I'll let you read the minutes. That's gonna take up 75% of my time if we do that. It's a good question though.
Sorry, you said the hotel. Has it been mowed? Cause it was looking kinda,
He told me he was coming down it this weekend and he never showed again.
I just, out by the road, I mean, I know there's not a lot there, but it was looking a little shady and then.
Last I talked to him, I said, what? I said, I know a guy that can take this out of here for 50-yard dumpsters at $650 a load. And he said, well, my dump truck's in the shop. That was 3 months ago. And then I got a text from him out of the blue, said he was gonna be there this weekend. And I said, he wanted to talk to me. Didn't say about what. He didn't show again.
So can I proceed to,
Can we get our excavator and dumpsters and put a lien on the property or however we go about? I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of legal things we have to do in process of that, but
Not really,
What
just
was our deadline on getting it cleaned up?
I'd have to look.
yeah, I didn't think it
I
was.
think it was a year.
So maybe.
I don't think it's a year. I think
6
it was
months?
90 days.
Well, it's exceeded that, huh?
All we would have to do is go to ordinance. And then, so our ordinance allows us to abate, fix the problem, and send them a bill. And then when, I'll try to call him again.
You want me to call him?
Send a letter, I guess.
That's all I had.
I'll get you the address.
Okay.
Comments from Sheila?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Alright.
Thanks, guys.